a wildlife sanctuary. We are going to get a tour and have an animal experience with a bear cat and Fennec fox.
Like to partake in that. I do also have some papers for you to fill out, just your name and a date for that. One is our legal paperwork, letting you know, hey, you're coming onto a facility with wild animals.
What do you think, eh?
Hey. Hey.
You hear her purring?
Hi.
Hi, Mama.
All right. Do you have any guesses on what he is related to? I'll do a 360.
Spider monkey.
Spider monkey? That is a classic guess. People guess that a lot, but it is wrong. I know this tail gives it a little bit of, you think it'd be a hint, but it is not.
It's a monkey, but it's not monkey.
Not primate at all.
Weasel.
Oh. They're so cat looking.
They do have kind of cat-like, right?
Have hands.
So, can we think of anything else that kind of uses their hands that's not a primate?
Well, raccoon.
Raccoon, they are related to raccoons. So these guys are related to raccoons as well as the coatis. And so they live in the same area as the coatis, South and Central America. These guys are going to be up in the canopies of trees. That's where they spend the majority of their time. The ground is basically lava to them. That's going to be where all the big dangers are. Jaguars, big snakes, humans. So it makes sense, right? They don't want to really hang out with any of them. They're going to be using their 6-inch long tongue to lap up honey.
Long?
It's incredible.
Their faces need that long.
I know. And so you're kind of thinking, well, honey, beehive, those have bees, right? You're exactly right. But these guys have dense fur that keeps their skin pretty faster in the water. We'd put on flippers, and these guys have built-in flippers as well. They have web feet, as you can see in the back there. And so those web feet really help them propel themselves through the water. It's very similar action actually to how the cheetah has built-in track shoes to help them get that traction. Same thing with their web feet. It helps give them traction in the water. They live in the water about 80% of the time, mostly coming out of the water to bask and lay eggs. And so they have a lot of adaptations that help them live in the water. Mainly being, they have built-in goggles. So they have an extra eyelid that helps them see underwater and also protect their eyeballs from any debris like leaves or sticks or any dirt that's in the water. They're 6 inches tall max and about 6 pounds max. But they do have the biggest ear to body size ratio. And so that's why they kind of like mealworms quite a lot. They can actually hear them digging under the ground and can dig them up. And so when we give them these balls, you'll kind of see them tilting their head, kind of like listening with their ears. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to be able to hear them and know where that mealworm is.
That's like what the leopard geckos do. They hear them scratching on the ground and they come out and look for them.
And so the one that's up on the platform right now, that is Phoenix. Fig just moved him out. Hi, Fig. And then we have Flip right there, the chunkier, lighter one. And so we have 2 brothers, which are going to be these 2 smaller, lighter ones. And then Fig was here a little bit before them. We do have Frodo. I don't know if you noticed when we passed over here, but he's in an enclosure by himself, which is a bit odd for Fennec fox because they are such social animals. They live in big family groups out in the wild. But we found that Frodo wasn't happy being with the other 3. Yeah, perfect, exactly.
Oh, that. Okay. You want it. That's what you're doing.
And so we found that Frodo is much happier being apart, but next to his Fennec fox. So that's what we decided to do with him.
Sounds like a bunny. Sounds like a bunny. That's good.
And so
Good scratching.
what you guys are going to do is you're going to help me actually get into there because I'm going to throw their newspaper balls in. Or I'm going to actually take this crate in so that I can show you one of them up close. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your tweezers and you're going to grab a mealworm.
Some. Don't let it go. You dropped it?
Yeah.
Oh. You keep it.
Why don't you just pick it up with your finger?
And you're going to have to leave.
Because I'm not going to feed it with my finger. No, he's on the ground. Look there, look. There you
And
go.
you're going to have to leave just about 5 mealworms so that I'm able to get out.
Okay. You got one at your door. Gotta put it in it. Oh, there you go. There's a girl down here. Come here.
I know you know. You good?
Oh, look, she paws at it to scratch.
Thank you.
Pretty quick.
Here, I give you some muffin. Here.
You might think you're trying to get them warm. She's a troublemaker.
She is a bit, Phoenix is pretty obnoxious to
I'll put
his
it in.
siblings. He likes to be a little bit more dominant. I know. I'll put you this way. So these guys, like I said, are made for the desert, and they have actually black skin underneath and black fur. So that protects them from the sun and getting sunburned. These guys are very vocal, as you can tell. He's telling me he's itchy and he wants me to itch him. That is his itchy noise. Thank you. I know, I'm trying.
Well, no.
Is that better? And so they also, if you look at their toes, they have fur that is very dense in between their toes, and it acts almost like snowshoes and helps them walk across the hot desert without sinking too much in the sand. You ever walk on the beach and you're kind of very difficult walking through the sand? Well, that helps them walk through it a little bit better. And it also helps keep their toes from burning up too much on that very, very hot sand. Oh, I know. I know. Here, I put you down again. That's a little up close of them. I know they're kind of speedy. They're a little difficult to see sometimes. And so we've never met a bear cat before, right?
No.
Do we have any
I'm
have we seen them? My wife is so hungry this morning, but she's too hungry. There you go. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right. So who's first?
Let's try it.
Hold it at the back end. There you go.
We just gave her a Fig Newton, so give her just a minute. She is so hungry this morning. She ate breakfast, by the way.
These guys are very
You can put a little lower. There you go. And then what we do is we put this in her mouth before we touch. Full mouth is a happy mouth, especially when she's hungry.
All right.
Okay, next.
Well, what do I do?
Okay.
You're gonna hold your stick up.
hold it up so it goes
yeah,
up.
what's that? You might put it so she can get it. There you go. Good. And let me go ahead and get this in her mouth. Muscular tail.
And
And
so
then is it prehensile?
it is prehensile. Very good. And so they're one of 2 carnivores that has a prehensile tail.
Linda, what's this? Linda, look at that. Oh, it magically appears. That banana just magically.
None of that makes sense to you. Just think of a mongoose on steroids and you have a binturong. And so these guys are very good climbers. They're going to be living up in the canopy. Similar to our Kinkajous, actually, the ground is lava to them. And so they are going to have more dangers down below than up top, so they feel safer up there.
And they can do another.
They're also nocturnal animals. You can kind of see she's pretty mellow, pretty gentle right now. At night, they are toddlers with tantrums that climb on everything, eat everything, and poop on everything. But they cannot actually hang from their tail. They're too heavy. Even though it is a very powerful tail, they can't actually hang upside down from it.
They have a bit of a clumsiness to them.
A little bit. They, like I said, their eyesight isn't so well. So here is Wolfie coming up to say hi.
Or
His
the
little
hair
ear
behind?
tusk, yeah. His little old man tusk.
Is that connected to the ear or just behind?
I think it comes up behind. Like, have you ever seen like a lynx almost?
Uh-huh. Are you crabby? Crabby?
Yeah, so these are the three youngsters, Saba and then Wolfman, and they fight over the house constantly, even though there's a bunch of houses.
You don't even know
see
you
how I
wanted
said
the
they kinda
house
sound
until
like
somebody else was in it.
You see, they kind of
you're
sound like a
cute.
cat in the back alley, right?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. They have strong personalities. They just get in a lot of trouble. They have a lot to do
And these guys, specifically the servals, they're very territorial. So much so that you cannot have...
Sing your song.
Do a big... Oh, good girl. That was kind of a weak one, but that was her best effort right there. And so these are called laughing kookaburras. They have... They have that classic laughing. Guys, our birds of prey, they're actually relatives of the kingfisher family, and so they have a really important role out in the wild. They're actually a keystone species in that if they went to extinct or disappeared from the wild completely, Australia would have some major problems. They have the same exact role that hawks and owls have here, and that is rodent population control. And so if they're maintaining that rodent population, and if they were to disappear, that rodent population would explode and be detrimental to basically all living creatures.
It's interesting that they are rodent eaters when their beak isn't like other birds of prey.
It is, you're right. And so they have kind of, kingfishers kind of have those long, almost shallow beaks. And so they're usually pretty good at fishing and catching fish in between that. They do have wild relatives, very similar with our porcupine, our hedgehogs here. And so they're known, of course, for those quills that cover their body from basically their forehead to about above their tail. They're not completely covered in quills. They have 3,000 of them, but the underside of their belly is very soft and very vulnerable. And so they have that classic roll up into a tight ball with their spikes pointing out. That is their number one way to avoid predators. And so out in Africa, they're not going to have a lot of predators because not a lot of things are going to want to eat a big spiky ball, right? Well, you would think so, but they do actually have two very big predators out there. Oh, there you go, buddy. The first one being lions and the second one being hyenas. They've kind of figured out how to, let's say, crack open the hedgehog.